He walked through that curtain, and nobody saw it coming. What Roman Reigns just did to CM Punk on Monday Night Raw is the kind of moment that breaks the internet. The kind of moment that makes you rewind your DVR 3 times just to make sure you saw it right. The kind of moment that changes everything. Welcome back to Wrestling Stream, the channel where the biggest moments in professional wrestling get the breakdown they deserve. I'm your host, and today we are talking about what may be the most vicious, most calculated, most personal attack we have seen on Raw in years. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and a Monday night that nobody in that arena, nobody watching at home will ever forget. Stay with me, because this story, it doesn't just start in that ring. It started long before the cameras turned on. To understand why this moment hit as hard as it did, we have to go back. We have to rewind the tape. CM Punk, the self-proclaimed best in the world, returned to WWE cutting promos that felt like receipts. Every word was a bullet. Every promo was personal. And for weeks, he had been circling Roman Reigns like a shark, not with aggression, but with something far more dangerous: patience. Punk knew exactly what buttons to push. He called Roman a fraud. He called the bloodline a safety net. He stood in the center of that ring, the microphone glued to his hand like a weapon, and he said, word for word, the tribal chief needs a tribe, because without them, he is nothing. And Roman? Roman smiled. That smile. If you've been watching Roman Reigns for the last several years, you know what that smile means. It doesn't mean he's happy. It doesn't mean he's amused. That smile means he has already decided what's going to happen to you. You just don't know it yet. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button right now, because we break down wrestling storytelling at this level every single week. Welcome to the family. The weeks leading up to this Raw were like a pressure cooker. Every time these two were in the same building, the temperature went up. We had the segment, you remember this, where Punk interrupted Roman's championship address. The crowd absolutely erupted. And Punk didn't even touch him. He just stood there. That's storytelling, folks. That is pro wrestling psychology at its absolute finest. Then there was the backstage confrontation, where sources close to the situation said the tension between these two wasn't entirely scripted. Now, we are not here to spread rumors, we deal in what we can verify, but the energy, the intensity in those eyes, that was something real bleeding through the performance. And the best wrestling always lives right on that edge. Drop a comment below. Did you feel like that backstage segment had genuine tension? Let us know. I want to hear your read on it. But none of it prepared us for what happened this past Monday night. Picture this. The arena is electric. 20,000 people. Signs everywhere. The air is thick with anticipation because everyone knew these two were going to collide tonight. The question was just, how? CM Punk's music hits. And that pop shook the building. The Chicago-born icon walked down that ramp like a man who owned every inch of real estate between that curtain and those ropes. Confident, composed, already talking. He gets in the ring. He grabs that mic. And he starts to unravel Roman Reigns piece by piece, layer by layer. He talked about legacy. He talked about ego. He talked about how the greatest trick Roman Reigns ever pulled was convincing the world he was untouchable. And then, the lights went out. Just for a second. Just long enough. And when they came back on, Roman Reigns was standing behind him. The crowd lost it. Absolutely lost it. Half of them were screaming, half of them had their phones in the air, because your boy Roman didn't come out to the music, didn't come through the main entrance, didn't give Punk a single second to prepare. He was just there. And before Punk could even turn around fully, Roman hit him with a spear so violent, so thunderous, that the ring literally shook. The impact echoed through that arena. The commentators were screaming. The crowd didn't know whether to cheer or gasp. But Roman wasn't done. No. Roman Reigns was not done. He picked Punk up and delivered a second spear. Then a third. The referee was trying to intervene. Paul Heyman, standing at ringside, had this look on his face. Not panic. Not surprise. Pure satisfaction. Like this was exactly the plan all along. And then Roman stood over CM Punk's body, looked out at the crowd, and held up that one finger. Acknowledge me. Folks, I have chills just walking through this. If you have not watched this segment yet, go watch it. And then come back here, because we are just getting started. Hit the like button if you are as locked in as I am right now. It genuinely helps the channel and lets me know you want more of this content. Okay, let's step back from the emotion for a second though. Honestly, that's hard and talk about what this attack means from a storytelling perspective. Because there is layers to this. First, the method. Roman didn't attack Punk face to face. He didn't walk out to that music, didn't cut a promo, didn't give Punk the chance to match him verbally. He ambushed him. He went around the corner. He used the darkness. That is not a babyface move. That is not even a typical heel move. That is the move of someone who has decided that winning matters more than looking good doing it. Roman Reigns, in 2026, is operating at a level of character complexity that very few wrestlers ever reach. He's not cartoonishly evil. He's not sympathetic. He's something more unsettling. He genuinely believes he is right. He believes CM Punk disrespected him, disrespected the bloodline, disrespected the legacy, and in his mind, that attack was justice. And that is why it works. The best heels, and I'll die on this hill, aren't the ones who twirl their mustaches. They're the ones who have a point. Now flip the camera to Punk's side of this. Punk came in talking like he had nothing to lose. But here's what's interesting: Roman's attack may have done Punk the biggest favor possible. Because now, CM Punk has a story. He has a wound. He has a reason. And wounded, motivated CM Punk? On a microphone? In front of a live crowd. That is the most dangerous version of that man that professional wrestling has ever seen. What do you think Punk's response should be? Drop it in the comments. I've already seen some wild theories in the community. Let's get a discussion going. Alright, this is the part of the video where we get into it. Where's this going? What happens next? Let me give you 3 possible directions, and you tell me which one makes you lose your mind the most. Option 1: the rematch build. Pure and simple. Punk takes a week off TV, sells the attack, comes back with controlled fury. Week by week, these two trade verbal shots and physical encounters until we get the blow-off match at the next premium live event. Clean, classic, effective. This is WWE playing it safe, but sometimes safe is the right call when the talent is this good. Option 2: a shocking alliance. Okay, hear me out. What if Punk doesn't go at Roman alone? What if he recruits someone? What if the response to the bloodline is a partnership nobody expected? I'm not going to name names because I don't want to start anything, but there are people on that roster who have unfinished business with Roman Reigns and would love to stand next to CM Punk. Think about who that could be. Really think. Yeah, I see you nodding. Option 3: the nuclear option. CM Punk, fully unhinged, decides the only way to get to Roman is to destroy everything around him first. Systematically. Member by member. Until Roman has no shield, no backup, no family, and is forced to stand alone in that ring and prove he's the man he says he is. Which road do you want to see? Vote in the comments option 1, 2, or 3. I'll read every single one. Let's take a minute to talk about something that doesn't always get enough credit: the crowd. Because the crowd on this Raw was doing something special. They weren't just watching, they were participating. When Punk's music hit, that wave of noise that rolled through the arena, that was 20,000 people choosing a side, choosing a story, choosing to care. And when Roman appeared, that reaction was split right down the middle. Half the crowd was horrified, half the crowd was on their feet cheering. Because Roman Reigns, even as the aggressor, even as the ambush artist, he commands that kind of response. That's generational talent. That's someone who has mastered every single element of this craft. Social media absolutely exploded after this. Trending #1 on multiple platforms. Clips going viral. The wrestling community alive with debate and discussion and passion. This is why we love this sport, people. This is why. And if you are sharing this video with a friend who hasn't gotten into wrestling yet, this is the moment. This is the clip you send them. This is the story that pulls people in and doesn't let go. Share this video. Let's get more people into this conversation. The bigger the wrestling stream community gets, the better content we can make for you. Let me put this moment in context. Because great wrestling doesn't exist in a vacuum, it exists in conversation with history. Think about the great ambush moments in WWE history. The Undertaker rising from the mat. The DX invasion. Stone Cold stunning Mr. McMahon for the first time. These weren't just matches, they were images. They were moments burned into the memory of every fan who witnessed them. Roman Reigns emerging from the darkness to spear CM Punk into the canvas? That belongs in that conversation. And here's what makes it even richer: both of these men have their own history with moments like this. Punk has been the victim and the perpetrator of career-defining attacks. Roman has built his entire second act on calculated power moves. When legends collide, the history they carry with them adds weight to every single second. This isn't just Roman versus Punk. This is legacy versus legacy. This is two men who each genuinely believe that they are the most important performer in professional wrestling today. And the beautiful, brutal truth? They might both be right. So here we are. Roman Reigns has drawn the first blood figuratively. CM Punk is down, but CM Punk is never out. And the entire WWE Universe is sitting at the edge of their seats waiting to see what Monday Night Raw looks like next week. Here's the question I want to leave you with, and I want you to really think about this: does CM Punk come back stronger? Or did Roman Reigns just break something that can't be put back together? Because there is a version of this story where Punk rises, gets his revenge, and the crowd goes nuclear. But there is also a version of this story, a darker version, where Roman Reigns has finally found the one opponent he can fully dismantle. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Which version are we in? I don't know. You don't know. And at that right there is the magic of professional wrestling at its highest level. We will be breaking down every development on this story right here on Wrestling Stream, so if you haven't subscribed yet, do it right now. Tap that bell so you don't miss a single video. We are going to be all over this. Like this video if you want to see where this rivalry goes. Comment your prediction, I read every single one and I will respond. Share this with your wrestling crew, let's keep the conversation going. This is Wrestling Stream. The story is just getting started. And something tells me, Roman Reigns is not finished.